question for you. Are you ready to elect one of your own as the first Latina Democrat to hold an office ever, let me repeat that, ever statewide?
Yes!
Thank you. Unfortunately, that's a true fact. There has never been a Latina Democrat to hold a statewide office. Part of that is because we haven't elected any Democrat statewide since 1994. That's an unfortunate reality. Now, many of you in this room have helped me get elected to the current position that I'm on, which is the 13th Court of Appeals. I'm in my 14th year on that court. You first helped me get elected in 2002. I was re-elected in 2008, and then most recently in 2014. But December last year, it was suggested to me that I run for the Texas Supreme Court, which is, of course, the high court in the state, the one that is next up from the current court that I'm on. My initial reaction was, I don't know, that's kind of crazy, for the reason that I mentioned, because it's tough for Democrats statewide. But I decided to run. I filed in December, completely against the odds of winning. I filed based on principle. Number one, because I strongly believe that we should always, every election cycle, have qualified Democrats in every position on the ballot statewide in order that our voters have a choice. And in order for us to, keep busting that, if we're ever going to bust that door down, we got to keep pushing on it. So we've got to have candidates, number one. And the second reason I filed is because the Texas Supreme Court, the highest civil court in the state that makes very important decisions that I will discuss in a minute, has been off balance for many, many years. It has, because it's been comprised of 9 justices of the Republican Party that share the same ideology, that share the same judicial philosophy. In other words, they think the same. Many of the decisions that they have made over the past 20 plus years have been unfair decisions. They lean heavily toward big corporations, insurance companies, hospitals, and the everyday Texan is overlooked. There have been many unfair decisions. Many of my own that I have authored on the 13th Court of Appeals have been reversed by the Texas Supreme Court when I know that the decision that we made on our court was the correct one. So that's the other reason I decided to run. Because the court lacks balance, it lacks ideological balance that results in unfairness to too many Texans. Additionally, out of the 9 judges, there are only 2 women on the court. There's only 1 Latina. So it lacks ethnic and gender diversity as well. So I set out running with that message, because that message is an important message that needs to be put out there. And surprisingly, as I've been out across this vast state that we live in, a lot of people agree. Conservatives agree too, that Supreme Court should be representative of the demographics of our state, and that there should be balance on the court, and there isn't. Even the Dallas Morning News, the Houston Chronicle, and the Corpus Christi Caller-Times agreed and endorsed me. Much to my surprise, especially Dallas Morning News. That's a very conservative paper, but they all agreed. So I'm fighting the fight, and as these months have progressed, and this gift that we have of Trump, if we want to put it that way, is actually helping. Is actually helping and is changing our chances. As you heard recently, just yesterday they announced that Hillary's within 3 to 4 points, the closest that any presidential candidate has been in Texas in a very, very long time. So she's actually spending some money in Texas and buying some ads, and that's going to help our turnout as well. So we've got a shot. We've got a shot. But Hidalgo County has always been one of the strongest counties in the state with one of the largest Democratic turnouts. So we need to get together here and be organized and get our voters out, because we are going to help everybody up and down the ballot. And like I said, if we can elect a Democrat Latina statewide, we can make history. So I need your help. I would really like to serve on that court, shake things up there, and help restore some balance that is sorely, sorely lacking. So thank you all very much.
You know, oftentimes you get to hear these speeches, but it's hard to put it in context of what it means to you. Yes? Sure. Yes. And we're going to talk about, she wanted to talk about the school finance case, which is very, very important.